Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use, for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal, and white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please click that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, today we got one of those broadcasts where we got to address some things. As of recently, I've been seeing a lot of people. Well, I don't want to say as of recently. We've all been seeing this, but we've been seeing it more from the white supremacists, the suspected white supremacists, whatever you want to call them, more than anything, to be honest with you. But we're used to seeing it from them because they've been doing it since the emancipation of the slaves. However, what we're seeing nowadays is what I like to call black code syndrome. And this is where you have a bunch of people just policing foundational Black Americans. You have a bunch of people just all up in our business at all points of the day for no reason. I was listening to a space the other day, and it was a space talking about the situation with the segregation and how people think that Trump took away segregation, and people in this space had their heads on straight, and they were all brothers and sisters, and they were all saying the same thing. They think they're scaring us, but they're really not. They were saying things like, Black people thrived under segregation. All that would do is force us to go out and protect ourselves and build each other. And out of nowhere, this napkin woman comes up and she just starts going off about how we should be horrified. They're rolling back all civil rights and all this nonsense. The lady ended up getting kicked out of the space, but it put it on my heart and my mind because that lady, I had a basic flashback to that lady yesterday, the day before yesterday, excuse me, when I was in a different space. And basically the conversation was basically the same. And this tether came up out of nowhere. And this tether started talking about how, we should be terrified because Trump is coming after us. And if they're first, we're next. And the same old talking points. And it made me realize that these tethers, they're using the same playbook as the white supremacists when it comes to policing Black folk, being in our business for absolutely no reason. When they should be worried about their situation, gathering their people together, they're in our spaces trying to basically tell us what we need to be doing and how we should feel. And I had a question. I just asked why. And that's when I had to realize, and it came to me, these people are operating with the black code syndrome. The same way white folks was operating after slavery, these tethers are trying to operate in the same capacity. But before we get too deep up in there, let me give a shout out to everybody in the chat. B1 salute to our brother Big Black God. Shout out to you. Shout out to our brother Reparations Nation. Thank you for being here. Shout out to our sister Aquarius Minded. Thank you for being here. Black Truth United. Thank you for being here, my brother. Shout out to you. Shout out to Angelic. I thank you for being here, sister. I know you have some issues. We're having some issues with the notifications, and I am working on putting together a Telegram right now to make sure that we won't have this issue moving forward. Salute to our sister Denise, Miss Niecy, aka Hurricane Niecy. Thank you for being here, sister. And okay, that's what. All right, so I want to play this video here of one of the situations that I'm talking about. This sister actually did this video in order to basically give these white folks and really anybody who want to talk about this like this, a little piece of her mind. So let's go here.
Child, there was this old white liberal bitch in my comments the other day, and she
Don't do that. What is going on? Always when I hit the live, huh?
child, there was this old white liberal bitch in my comments the other day.
God dang it. Give me 1 second, family. Figure this out. That I hate technical difficulties right when we go.
Because I was black.
What is going on here? Come on, YouTube. Stop all this nonsense, eh? Family, give me a hot second. Let me figure out what's going on here. All right, family, that should do it. Hopefully, we don't have any more problems moving forward. Got dang screw tube and the dang internet had to plug up some other stuff. Shouldn't have to plug up anyway. Long story short, let's get back here and we should be good to go. Let's try her out again. All right, let's go here. Soon as is it god dang just
The other day, and she told me that I should be ashamed of myself because I was black and a woman. And what piece of the pie did I think I
yeah, this is definitely some
was gonna get?
Screw tube stuff, huh?
Y'all do know that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I am a fucking American. What is wrong with y'all? So y'all think that man gonna see my black ass tips and say, oh no, we gotta tax her tips because she's a black woman. I'm a fucking American just like you, white hoe. What do you think he gonna see me playing basketball and say, oh no, throw a transgender man in there. We can't have that woman playing with only women because she's a black woman. Are y'all stupid? And as for the piece of pie that I'm gonna get, baby, I already got it, ho. All roads in my backyard lead to the Gulf of America.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that down. We get the gist of what she's saying here.
American. I don't make excuses. I make a way. Malcolm X tried to tell us that white liberal women were dangerous. You are dangerous. It's you. Y'all are racist. That's racist. You put a limitation on me. Child.
So salute to that sister because that's absolutely correct. It's absolutely correct that she's putting basically these folks out here putting limitations on black folk, and they want us to be what they want us to be. They want us to be afraid. They want us to be shaking in our boots. They want us to be everything but what we're doing right now, which is standing on our square, chilling, understanding that, hey, these things really don't affect us in the same way it's affecting everybody else. And these folks, they're mad. They're mad that we're not upset. They're mad that we're not in the streets waving our fist. And they're doing the exact same thing, like I said, they were doing right after slavery ended. I want to play this clip of our sister explaining this situation in so many words.
Just in the weeks preceding the George Floyd video, there were a couple of other videos that came out.
Yeah.
One was an encounter in Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
A white woman tells a black bird watcher that if he doesn't stop taping her after he had told her to put her dog on a leash, which was required in that part of the park, she tells him if he doesn't stop taping her, she's going to call the police and tell them that a black man is threatening her life.
Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
What did you see and hear in that tape?
I saw white privilege on full display and the full realization of white people that they can weaponize the police, that the police are their private constabulary, that if they just feel like they're maybe losing an argument, they can call the police. They're going to lead with the race issue because they know that the police will come and view the scene in a very particular way. They know. That's why when white people say we didn't know, when they see these videos and they say we didn't know it was this bad and we didn't know, they do know. They know that the state works for them, and they know that the state and law enforcement is embedded with the same narratives that they likely grew up with. And so she tells this Black man to his face, she knows she's being videotaped, that she is going to weaponize the New York City Police Department. She's going to weaponize them against him if he doesn't stop filming her.
There is an African American man. I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog.
It's a powerful moment for pause for us to think about the kind of power that we put into the hands of the average white person who believes that they are deputized to control the movements of Black people. This is actually what existed after the Civil War with the creation of Black codes, where Black people could be questioned by any white person and asked to show their papers showing their employment, that some white person employed them, and that therefore they had the right to be on a public road. That's how they used to try to police us after the Civil War. After we were theoretically free from slavery, they created these state codes and city ordinances that controlled our conduct. And that's what you see when you see, all of these people who call 911 on Black people having a barbecue or standing outside their house or whatever they're calling about.
Teenagers going to a swim party.
Teenagers going to a swim party is the fundamental belief of most white people that they have the right to question a Black person's legitimacy and essentially ask the Black person to show their freedom papers, essentially to show that they have the right to enter this building, to be in this hallway, to be in the gym we saw recently, right? Show me that you work in this building. Where do you live? This is extraordinary, but it is directly connected to this period after slavery in which white people basically deputized themselves to be able to do this, to question Black people in public spaces.
So family, that had me thinking, and it was one of those things that she said, where she said that basically that people can show like, hey, as a white person, I've been deputized, I've been hired per se, in order to police these people. And that's what I kind of feel like the tethers feel right now. I kind of feel like they're like, hey, the white man brought me here, and it's my job to keep you guys in line. It's my job to defer or to off-put your movements. It's my job to tell you that you should be terrified because they're rolling back all of the civil rights. And that's what I feel. That's just my assessment of the situation. Because it absolutely makes no sense that these people be in our business so much. They stay in our spaces, they stay in our business, even when it has nothing to do with them. We could be talking about how the sky looks beautiful today, and they come out of nowhere. No, nigga, you are African. You got to accept your Africanism. And we like, what? Let's go here, family. Whoopsie daisy.
She hurried down the dusty road, hoping not to see him. Her pass had expired a day earlier, and being caught like this was deadly. Slave passes were handwritten pieces of paper that enslaved people were required to carry whenever they traveled along. Enslavers scribbled their names, destination, and return dates on slips that patrollers stopped and checked along their routes. Those who were literate used their skills to liberate. Frederick Douglass could read and write, so he outsmarted the system by forging passes for himself and other enslaved folks. These passes reveal how deeply rooted white supremacy is and how the legacy of white surveillance affects us today, particularly in policing and education. There's an unmistakable parallel between slave passes and New York City's infamous stop and frisk policy. In primary education school-to-prison pipeline, Black children are routinely over-policed. White vigilantes who jump to call the police or harm us after assuming we don't belong somewhere are also playing into the racist legacy of surveillance. White surveillance can be deadly, but we don't have to play their games. Like Douglas, we must find ways over their hurdles, reaching back for our people every time we leave. She hurried down.
So, family, I wanted to play that because, like I said, there is a lot of this policing going on. And I wanted to touch on this because, like I said, the folks out here trying to make you afraid of the fact that Trump rolled back that bathroom policy. People are saying segregation. You're not scared. Why aren't you scared? And they're sending out the loudest people in the room to convince us we should be scared.
So Donald Trump just brought back segregation. Yes, I'm saying that. He just brought back segregation. Segregation on bathrooms, on restaurants, on who to hire. That is part of removing DEI. Okay? Let's do it. Bring back segregation. I want to know where the fuck I'm not welcome. I want to know where my money does not deserve to be put at, because let's make this very fucking clear. Black people in America are the buying power. Y'all forget we buy more than anybody else. I don't know why we do that shit, but we do. So let us know where the fuck we aren't welcome. Bring back segregation. I guarantee y'all gonna fuck up all y'all money, because white folks don't shop like that. And when they do, they don't spend in middle class areas. It's the rich shit like Gucci and Prada. Not everyday hometowns. Go ahead and fuck yourselves up. Bring segregation back. Yup. Bring it on back. Let's see how this shit rides. You see what's going on with Target.
Yeah, family. And a lot of people have been saying exactly what you just said, Miss Niecy, that they have no problem with segregation coming back. And that's the problem that these folks are having, because they're out here trying to emotionally bait us into supporting Democrats, and we're out here saying, hey, bring it on. I guarantee you, you're gonna see a rise in the Black community. You're gonna see how the reasoning behind segregation wasn't, or desegregation wasn't, the fact that they loved us so. They knew about the black dollar. They knew about us being so, I guess you could say, we was just shining on them. That's why they were so envious. That's why they were so jealous. That's why they have to bomb our cities. That's why they have to flood our towns. That's why they have to put railroad tracks through our cities, our communities. This is why they have to gentrify. This is why every single thing leads back to the way that we do things when we're left alone. Every single thing leads back to that exact same point. Whenever we're undisturbed, we start to shine. We start to grow. We start making money double, triple the stock market. And they don't like that. They don't want that. So a lot of people aren't afraid of them trying to fearmonger this segregation stuff. A lot of people are like, hey, come on with it. Let's go here.
What's up, TikTok? So are y'all getting phone calls like I'm getting phone calls? Yeah, phone calls from Democrats because of what Trump just overturned with the federal contracting, federal buildings and things like that with the segregation that they're saying, because NPR News or Axios put out a propaganda, race baiting, emotional article that the headline is the grabber, but nobody really goes in to actually read the article. So let me tell you guys something, Black Democrats who are all in a frenzy, all emotional, talking about, see, he's rolling back segregation. He's going to bring back segregation. Listen, find me. And then they put up a water fountain, right? Colors and whites and all of that. Where's a water fountain at? Where's a water fountain? Second, how many Mexicans are in this country? You hardly don't even see Black folk no more, honey. You see a speck of blacks, a speck of whites, and a whole bunch of Hispanic people. And this is nothing against the Hispanic people. But let me tell you something, Black Democrats. It was the Democrats, your leadership, who brought in all of these illegal aliens to replace you in the first place. Yes. You know why they did that? Because look at the voting. Look at the polls. Yeah, they're below 27% approval rating. So they knew they was going to do some jacked up stuff to push intellectual blacks out. So they already brought them in to replace you. Remember Trump was saying they're taking black jobs and y'all got in a frenzy? Yeah, Democrats brought them in here to take your jobs. So let me tell you guys something about this federal contracting, which you guys are talking about the segregation. Do you remember your beloved Obama, your Messiah? Remember Obama started talking about equality? Yeah, equality. Let me tell you what he did. He grouped black people, a nation of people, with LGBTQ. So yes, blacks, he put y'all on that level, okay? Now this is a nationality and one is a sexual preference. So he grouped those two as saying it's oppression. And y'all let him do it. See, he grouped, and now you got the whole T in the Q, right? So this whole T thing is an abomination to God. It's a Baphomet. It's supposed to be a male and a female who's one. You understand? That's an abomination that make it desolate. Your beloved Obama grouped that with you, Mr. Black Man. And so they added, remember, here was the rules. You cannot, what is it? You cannot determine or either, golly, what is it? Discriminate. Thank you so much. I was having a brain fart. You cannot discriminate based on race, sex, color, remember that, or religion. Well, Obama added sexual orientation and gender identity. So while y'all tripping off of DEI, only 4% of blacks benefited from that. You know who else benefited the most? Your T-words. So if y'all want to be equal to T-words, then y'all can be equal to T-words. I don't want to be equal to that. I'm a real woman. And I'm a real black woman. And furthermore, I don't need to be equal to nobody, honey. I am me. Thank
God. Shout out to Aquarius Mining. Grown men with full beards and lace fronts is pathetic. That hit me in the chest. And shout out to the ears that hear the truth. Thank you for your Cash App, sister. I appreciate your contributions. Blessings to you tenfold. That right there hit me in the chest. I apologize. I don't know. I didn't know how to take that one. Pause.
God, my parents taught me to not go off emotions and be a victim and always want to be equal to somebody. The only person I want to be equal to is God in the end. But I don't want to be equal to nobody, and y'all let these people play on your emotions. Because see, not all, but some are not emotionally sound. Some are very easily manipulated. So where's the segregation? Because the McDonald's that I know about, matter of fact, I'm at a building here waiting now to go in. I've got a meeting here in a little bit. The McDonald's across the street, honey, is ran. I don't see not one white and not one black in this McDonald's. Baby, it's all Hispanic. So who they segregating? Who they gonna pull you away from? Junebug got more white baby mamas than anybody. So who's gonna be segregated here? I mean, I really need y'all to put y'all thinking caps on. You know what? Go America.
Family. Tell me she didn't go off on that. But here's the thing though. And she makes a valid point. Who are you seeing us being segregated from? We've been segregated. This isn't a new experience for us. We're segregated in many ways. Policy-wise, we're segregated housing-wise, we're segregated in our education, we're segregated in our school, our workspaces, we're segregated in the type of spaces we're able to get into when you're in business. Like, we're segregated through bank loans. Who are they actually segregating? Because the fact of the matter is, we've already been dealing with this. It isn't anything new. You got black farmers that ain't been able to get goddamn funding for decades. The white farmers, they find out that Trump is cutting their program and they losing their minds because they need the funding help. So while people is running around trying to fearmonger us, we've already been dealing with this stuff. What haven't we been dealing with? Let's be very clear about that. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't no black, exactly, Miss Nisi. Ain't no black farmers doing TikTok videos. They out there getting a farm on right now. But you got the white ones out there crying and boo-hooing all over line. Oh, he's going to take it. Trump, this is not what I voted for. Should have read the fine print. See, this is why we wasn't worried on either side. This is why we didn't rush to the polls, because they was trying to fearmonger us into riding for Kamala. But we also didn't go rushing to the polls to go vote for Trump. Now, the people who did, they know why they did. Most of them did because they were tired of seeing these illegals in their neighborhoods. And that's understandable. They voted for something tangible, which is the removal of these people from their neighborhoods. I understand that completely. But the bulk of us, we set this out. Because regardless of what happened, we knew it would not affect us in the same way it affects everybody else, because we've already been affected. What more can you do? You can't deport us. You can't do really too much else right now. And they hate the fact that we're not running around here crying all over the place. Good God.
I'm going to say this shit real quick. The federal government is now encouraging segregation. This is another tactic to get us people out there on them streets so they could do what they need to do. I don't think they have learned yet. This fuck around and find out just really has not hit them yet. They don't get it. Black farmers are doing better than white farmers in Nebraska. Why? Because y'all racist and y'all think that we get handouts and we don't, because the black people really know how to fucking do it from the ground up, and y'all was the one getting the handouts and y'all ain't getting shit. Segregate this motherfucker. Y'all don't even know how to cook with more than black pepper and motherfucking salt. And y'all barely use that. Segregate this motherfucker, because y'all the ones out here wearing bonnets. Segregate this motherfucker, because y'all the one that's on this app talking about box braids came from Vikings. Segregate this motherfucker. Y'all the one on here talking about they not like us. Y'all really are not like us. Segregate this motherfucker. Because honestly, we did better when we was by ourselves. Y'all the one that came and fucked up everything when it was segregated. The difference is that back then, we thought we was missing out on something. Y'all know that fucking viral meme of that man talking about, not the meme, the video of the protester from the civil rights movement talking about he sat down and ate that food. He was like, this is what the fuck we was protesting for? Segregate this motherfucker. Y'all want us to rage so fucking bad, and we don't care.
Facts. And it's funny that she brought up the dude, the old man that went, and he was like, this is what I got my butt kicked for all those years after tasting that white food. Let's be honest. If we was to segregate tomorrow, right? These same folks would be knocking on our doors trying to get into our restaurants. You take us away, you take away everything that we bring to America. And I guarantee you, they don't want that. That's just the facts. They don't want that. They don't like their own food. If you ain't never gave a white person a home-cooked meal and seen the look on their face, you're missing out. When I used to do the little catering situation for my homies, whenever they did their little, their barbecues and stuff like that, I used to see a lot of white folk takes my food. And when I say the eyes roll in the back of their skulls, their eyes be rolling all the way to the back of their throats when eating my food. So I know for damn sure these folks don't want to go back into a time where they got to eat each other's food. That's just a fact. Salt and pepper isn't just seasoning. It's not, right, the only seasonings in the world. But they don't know how to use seasonings. They don't know how to use herbs and spices. They never have. And dare I say, they probably never will. But let's go here. We supposed to be afraid. Guarantee you, you gonna have white folks banging down, beating down black restaurants' doors. Please don't make us eat our own food, Mr. Black Man. Please. And we're gonna be like, nah. This is colors only. This is black only. Y'all gotta go back on that side of town. Like she said, what did we miss out on? Well, let's go here.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but actually,
Oh, okay. I see what this is.
a lot of people need to hear this. I don't care what source you read the headline from. Go.
All right, family. I see exactly what that is.
Is going.
Yep. So it's just this. All right. So anytime I add this site, it does that. So, okay, we won't use you then. No problem. Let's go here. So, family, after people saw that we wasn't shaking in our boots, that we wasn't scared, they came out and sent out their mammies. They sent out their little pep squad to say, well, hey, if you guys have no problem with segregation, then why don't you just go ahead and, segregate?
If y'all want segregation so bad, why don't you just go buy your own land and segregate yourselves? Why must the government do everything?
Believe me when I say that you ninjas is the reason why I'm on my third page. You ninjas is the reason why I'm on my third page. Because it is extremely hard for me to censor myself. I can't say what I want to say, how I want to say it up here, when I want to say it. But baby, I'm going to try to make this as TikTok friendly as possible. With your dumb, ignorant. All right. You are a coon. Because I seen your original video when you basically said that, Black people basically cause their own frustrations in this country. We so-called cause our own demise. You are a coon. And you said in your video, I know you're going to call me a coon. Yeah, bitch, because you know you are a fucking coon, period. For you to make a video saying, oh, since you want to be segregated so bad, why don't you buy your own land? You dumb dodo bird. Beyonce and Jay-Z combined is worth almost $5 billion. They have tried to purchase land in many places around the fucking world, and they will turn down as Beyonce and Jay-Z. You know why? Because they're black. So if somebody worth a couple of billions of fucking dollars can't purchase land, what the fuck do you think what do you think a regular black person can do? See, this is what I'm talking about. evidently you guys don't understand what systemic racism means. Clearly you don't. There have been plenty of times where black people have tried to purchase land. Black people have tried to do certain things, okay, for their community, to keep it in their community. And those motherfucking Neanderthals destroyed it. Those motherfucking Neanderthals have set it up so we could not even purchase these things for our community. You so fucking smart, you dumb dodo. Don't you understand how systemic racism works? Do you understand how these things work? Do y'all understand how these things work? The reason why I want them to take this fucking app is because I'm fucking tired of y'all. I'm fucking tired of y'all. A lot of y'all don't need a fucking platform because you be up here running your fucking mouth loud and wrong and uneducated. I don't give a fuck how many big words you use in your video, bitch. Read. Do your research, please. Y'all are so fucking regurgitating. I can't wait till they take this out. Y'all make it so I be wanting them. Y'all motherfuckers, and I be, swear to God, I be, don't bring no weapons. Come to the motherfucking blacktop. I'm so tired of y'all tap dancing ass, coon ass ninjas. At this point, get your motherfucking Nikes and come to the blacktop.
My bad. Mike was muted. Salute to that sister. She said, throw on the shoes, come to the blacktop. And I understand the frustration, family, because when you see your people falling into the same emotional trap, I say this all the time, an emotional mind is an easily manipulated mind. And these people are, they're just regurgitating what they hear on the daily, every day. It is a Chicken Little tactic. Every day the sky is falling. And they expect you to cry and run around screaming the sky is falling every single day. Don't it get draining being so dang worrisome? I don't understand. It's like a drug to these people to literally be emotionally over the edge every single damn day. We ain't even got 4 months into a 4-year presidency. And all these folks are every single day since Trump got into office, there was something new. Shout out to our brother, Leroy Brown. Thank you for being here, my brother. Every day is something new. Every single day. And they're telling you, they're running around like Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And when we tell them, hey, we don't really care that the sky is falling. The sky's been falling for centuries for us. Well, if you don't care about the sky falling, then maybe you should get in a rocket and go to the sky. Like the nonsense these people come up with is just stupid. And they expect us to do the same crash out that they're out here doing. But when you're solidified in yourself, when you're ready for anything, when you're doing the preparations for you and yours, you're not going to sit here and crash out the way these people are crashing out. And when you realize that you are the power within the American dollar, then you definitely ain't got nothing to worry about, because that's the reason why most of us feel that they desegregated us, because of our power, because of our ability to get that money. See, foundational Black Americans have always been hustlers. When we got off the plantations and they wouldn't give us jobs, we had to go out there and hustle. We had to create. And many of us did and created ourselves into wealth. And they don't like that at all. Absolutely, FBA is the mirror of America. When you look at an FBA, you are literally looking at yourself through the eyes of someone who is a foreigner to this land, right? And we're the only ones that can't say that. We're the only ones that can't say that. We're the only ones that has to say, you know what, we're the only Americans, really, to be honest with you, because everybody else immigrated here. Everybody else immigrated here. We built the country. Then we had to create wealth within that country. Then we built within the country again, several times over, creating black cities, black towns, black enclaves, only for them to get jealous of our success in the country that they immigrated to. Let that sink in. Out of all the things that we done, they look at us because we have sustained ourselves over the centuries, while everyone else is actually getting a handout, the same handout that they're trying to claim reparations is. But let's go to this brother here. He speaks about his theory on desegregation. And like I said, most of us agree with this point here.
This is my take on segregation. They didn't desegregate for the betterment of black people. They realized that, look, black people have been creating communities, economies. You know, they've been functioning with the scraps we gave them, and they've been thriving. We made small, isolated economies all across America with just black people. $1 circulated 100 times throughout that community before it even left. We had our own surgeons, doctors, grocery stores, farmers, car salesmen, car mechanics, everything to run a functional society, a small town, a small city, without any help, until they came and burned it down and killed hundreds of people in the process. So they was like, you know what? The fact that they can do all this without us, let's end segregation and then ease them into a better education system where they got a little bit more resources. Then they can come work for us. Then they can come work for us, make us more money. We can get the biggest and brightest black minds out there to come work for us. We can pay them a little bit more, not as much as we'll pay with white people, but we'll pay them a little bit more money. That's pretty much all it was. To profit off of black people once again. That's literally all it was for desegregation.
So we're well aware of this. We're well aware of our political, economic need for America to succeed. That's just the fact of the matter. Our GDP that we give to the, I don't say that we give, but when it comes to our GDP versus America's GDP, we're the ones that actually put the money back into America, ladies and gentlemen. All these immigrants that sending money to other countries and to their families back home and all this other stuff, we're the one that stimulate the economy. That's just the facts. But this weird obsession that these folks have with us, this weird obsession trying to force us to be what they want us to be. They don't like us calling us FBAs. They don't like the fact that many of us have left the Democrat plantation for the furniture party. They don't like the fact that we're pushing reparations and the economic policies for foundational Black Americans. They don't like the fact that they're running around here with this Chicken Little tactic. The sky is falling, and it's not moving us. That's what it is, family. They don't like any of these things. So what are they saying when they don't want us identifying ourselves as a people? What are they saying if they don't want us being independent politically? What are they saying when they don't want us pushing policies that benefit foundational Black Americans specifically? Basically, what they're saying is we have no right of self-determination. Every time they say, well, the FBAs, they're a cult. FBAs, they're a hate group. FBAs, you must be MAGA. All they're saying to us in that point in time is that we don't have the right of self-determination. Because self-determination literally means that you have the ability as an individual or a group to make choices and determine your own actions. They do not want you to have that. And this is in every area, whether in politics, education, or anything else. This is what self-determination is. They don't want you to have it. They want to tell you who you are. They want to tell you who to support. They don't want you to be able to have an educated mind. And that's why they continue to try to keep you hyper emotional. Because as I done said several times over, an emotional mind is an easily manipulated mind. So that's all they're saying when they're saying, hey, we don't want you identifying as FBA. Hey, we don't want you being independent, politically independent. We don't want you pushing policies that's going to benefit your community alone. That's all they're saying. We don't want you using your right of self-determination. That's it. And with that, if you can put that in your mind every time that someone brings some nonsense like this to you, you'll be able to call out their racism much quicker. See, I don't even have these conversations with these people thinking that they're bringing it in good faith anymore. I automatically take it straight to hell with them. I already expect them to go low, so I start off lower. That's it. Because I understand what they're basically telling me is that you don't have the right to be you. You don't have the right to know who you are and decide who you are. Decide your policies. Decide who you want to vote for. Decide anything. And that takes it back to that whole Black code situation. The Black code syndrome. But a lot of these tethers, they get here, right? And these tethers get here and they don't understand that they're not us. But the obsession with us is so freaking weird that they don't even know that they're not us. They think that we're one and the same. They think that everybody sees us as one and the same. You know how people be saying, well, when you see a African get pulled over and a police officer pulls over a foundational Black American, well, you know, they can't tell you guys apart. And to be honest with you, that's true. Well, to be honest with you, this young lady here says her experience says otherwise.
Sometimes when Black Americans talk to me, they sound like how white people talk to other white people when they aren't the right type of white, you know? Like they can recognize when someone is like Polish or something and not from Western Europe, that kind of differentiation. I was interviewing a participant and he was like a elderly Black American man. And he looked at me and was like, "What are you? You don't look like a typical Black. Are you Nigerian?" And I was like, yes, I am Nigerian. And then he replies, yeah, I could tell. I could tell there was something different about you, you know? So I'm very good at recognizing that. And I just had to laugh, because what do I say to that? It's not like I have an accent or nothing. I did tell him my name was Benedicta, but that is such an ambiguous name because sometimes the Latinos claim me. They think I'm one of them. So I really don't know what about me says Nigerian.
Do you guys want to play that game, family? Do you guys want to play that game? Remember when we was growing up, we had that game, one of these things are not like the other. One of these things are not the same. Should we play that game? I'm just saying. We can tell our people, but these are the people who they're trying to basically give power to tell us who we are, what our culture is, to take away our self-determination. This is what this is. And when we let people know, no, we know who you are. You definitely ain't one of us. Do you know, like your hairline starts in the back where your ears are? I know you're not one of us. They get baffled by it. They don't even understand it. But these are the people that they're trying to give power to take away our self-determination. While they're out here doing nonsense like this. Let me pull this up here, because we're going to get into this. They out here being hella xenophobic. Being hella xenophobic.
Apple pie. Cheesecake. Apple pie. Cheesecake. Apple pie. Cheesecake.
Now, why is any of that necessary? Just for no reason. We live rent-free in these people's noggins. Rent-free. But then if we step out and call these suckers out for this same type of nonsense right here and let them know this is why we're delineating, then we're the xenophobic ones. We're the xenophobic ones. When clearly they've been making
apple pie, cheesecake.
They've been making videos like this for I don't know how long. At this point in time, we're tired of it. So we done came together. We done said enough is enough. We're not allowing y'all to speak no more. These are our spaces. You need to get yourself together, close that down. We determine who we are and all this other stuff. Soon as we start talking like that, then we get the xenophobia tag on us. When the truth of the matter is, it's the complete opposite. Let's go here, family.
Calling out the bullshit that y'all do, and this is for Black non-Americans. The bullshit that y'all do when y'all come to our country is not being divisive. It's not being divisive at all. If we peep shit, we're going to call it out. If we do it to white people, you're not exempt to that bullshit. And then y'all be like, it's xenophobic. It's xenophobic. No, we just peep your bullshit. We're calling you out on it because the thing is, y'all are not used to calling each other out. So when we call y'all out for the shit that y'all do, y'all it shocks y'all. We call out our own people when they be on bullshit. Please, if you're gonna come to America, you have to get used to call out culture, especially in Black American culture. Don't think that you're exempt because you're African or Caribbean or British. You're gonna get called the fuck out, especially when we just telling y'all to respect our home while y'all in it. That's all we telling y'all. Respect our shit. And y'all feel like y'all don't have to. So then when y'all get met with disrespect because y'all are disrespectful, now it's you're xenophobic, you're divisive. You don't want to see Black people join together. No, y'all don't want to see that. Y'all don't want to see that. And I want y'all to understand.
That's it, family. And it's getting more and more. I say I want them to continue with their obsession and divisiveness, their xenophobia of Black Americans, because the more and more they do it, the more and more other foundational Black Americans see the need to stand on the FBA square. They see the need to love being the Black American that they are, and basically let these suckers know that no, I choose this. This isn't something that was just given to me. This isn't the African American title. Jesse Jackson had nothing to do with this. We chose, and we're choosing who we are. And y'all don't have a right to say we can't. Let's go here, family.
You know, brother, people make a lot of assumptions about Black people in America. A lot of assumptions. And one of the assumptions that's frequently made is that we, Black people in America, are not proud of our history, the origins of our history, our ancestors, and where they came from. That could not be further from the truth. Here is my truth. I choose Black. I choose it. I love the way it fucking rolls off my tongue. I am a Black woman. I choose this label for me. I feel a connection to my ancestors, to Black people on the diaspora. I believe in one Black love. One Black love. But what I will not do is cherry pick my history. Because every single part of my history, no matter if it was great, it was good, or if it was struggle, every part of it brought me to this point right here, right now, sitting here, talking to you. And this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. So while people can make assumptions about my pride and where I come from, unless you ask me, you will never know. So ask me, and I'll tell you. But do not assume anything about me or the next Black man, because too many people make assumptions about us already, and those assumptions that they make usually are to our detriment. Allow us an opportunity to be. Allow us an opportunity to exist, to love ourselves and our brothers and sisters. Because this life that we're given is all we've got right now. And I plan on making the fucking most of it. If I don't do anything else with this Black life of mine, I am going to make sure that the young Black girls, young Black boys coming up behind me see at least one less struggle than I did. And I'm going to do it with pride. I am my ancestors.
I want to say shout out and salute to that sister, because there was so much in there and everything she said is correct. But the number one thing that I will say is correct is that what we do this for is not for us. None of us put in all this work for us. We're not as selfish like everybody else. We've never been as selfish people like everybody else. We don't do none of this for us, and we don't do it for our health. We do it for the next generation, and the next generation after that, and the generation to come after that. We fight for them. We fight for the future of foundational Black Americans. We fight for our children and our children's children and our children's children's children and our children's 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 children. This is why we do the work. This is why we running up on people like Sheila Jackson Lee. This is why we running up on people like James Clyburn. This is why we're letting people know we're getting into these reparation meetings. We're letting people know that there is only one group of people that is supposed to get reparations on this land, and that's foundational Black Americans, aka the American freemen. We are fighting for the next generation's right to live, ladies and gentlemen. We are not fighting for ourselves. So we can take the little brunt of a little badness. We don't have a problem getting any bad news because we've been getting bad news since we got off the plantation. We've been getting targeted since we got off the plantation. We've been getting targeted by policy, by the United States of America since we got off the plantation. Do you think that we're scared now? Do you think that because you throw out this situation that you claim we should be fearful of, that we're going to buckle now? We're here fighting for the next generation, and that's why many of us is so passionate. That's why many of us is out here saying, screw everybody. If it ain't got nothing to do with us, we ain't got nothing to do with you. So salute to that sister for saying that, because that's what all of this whole movement, this is what civil rights, this is what everything was supposed to be about and is about. The next generation and getting what's owed to our people. And the old folks used to say, hey, it might not happen in our lifetime. We in this generation said, damn that, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen before I leave this goddamn planet. Because we ain't taking no for an answer. We're not bucking because of the fact that people don't like what they're hearing. Everybody that come to me and say that reparations, well, you know, X amount of people don't agree with it. When does it matter any other time? All these people that didn't agree, most of Americans didn't agree with America sending money to the Ukraine. They still did it. Most of America didn't agree with them housing, clothing, and funding illegal immigrations. America still did it. Why does it matter what anybody else say or care about when it comes to us? These same people didn't want us getting the civil rights bill passed. They said it was happening too quick. They said we need to slow down because we're making white people uncomfortable. And you know what we did? We put our foot on the pedal and said, go, go, go. This is what we did. And this is what we continue to do in this country, because it's not for us. It's for the next generation. It's for our children. Let's move on, family. And speaking of reparations, because you have so many people, shout out to our brother, Jen Hall. Thank you for being here, brother. You have so many people trying to talk about our reparations claim as if they have the right to do so. And they don't. This is another way of policing. This is another way for them to police what we're doing. And we're calling all of it out. Because like I said, all they're saying at the end of the day is that we don't have a right of self-determination. And we're telling them, middle finger to you, we absolutely do. Let's go here, family.
So here we have someone who thinks that we should not be entitled to something because they don't like how they think that we're going to spend it. Stop pocket watching. We're going to do great things with that money. Yes, some people are going to spend it on things as they should. It's their money. The vast majority of us are going to invest that money into our communities. We're going to tap into industries that we've been locked out of economically. We're going to do great things for the Black community. Now, do you think that if they thought that we were going to trick off the money as you're implying, they would have been giving it to us? Okay, let's use some discernment, ma'am or sir, and stop pocket watching.
And family, let's keep it 100. Tell me where she told a lie. I've been saying this for a long time. If let's say, if they knew that we would just mess off, shout out to our brother Black Troops United. Thank you for your Cash App, my brother, and I appreciate your contributions. Blessings to you tenfold. If they knew that we were just going to mess over the cash, they would have already given it to us with no problem. Because they know it would go back into the community. They would know it would go back into the system, into the economic plan of America. The economy would thrive if they gave it to us. If they knew that, they would already gave it to us, right? If it was just about the economy thriving. Because there's studies that actually show that if they was to give us reparations, within 5 years, America would generate $5 trillion to the GDP, the national GDP, per year. So it isn't just about the spending. It's about the fact that we would be able to, once again, the people like me, the people like our brother Black Truth United, the people like our brother Black Alpha, Tariq, just name them. Afro Elite, KG, Torian Reigns, all of these people would be able to go out now and create another Black Wall Street in every area in which we are. It's bad enough we had one Black Wall Street at one point in time. We had several, don't get me wrong, but I'm just speaking about at that time, 1921. It was bad enough for them. Think about it in a way where we are all on the level and we're able to now build new Black Wall Streets in every area across America where we all reside. That would destroy white folk. It would destroy white folk. It would kill these races. Why? Because for years they've been going around talking about how we're just lazy, we're no good, we don't want nothing good for ourselves, we can't do this, we can't do that. And for years we told them, hey, just give us the funding the same way y'all give everyone else, and I guarantee you we're going to show you what it do. And they denied it. They said, no, we're not going to do that. Y'all just lazy. And y'all just want handouts. And y'all just want everybody to subsidize you. Why not when y'all subsidizing everyone else? And then expect us to invite everyone else to the cookout. Y'all disenfranchise us and then expect us to go around inviting people to the cookout. just because they do something mediocre. This is what's happening, family. They sit here and talk all this nonsense about what we are and what we ain't. They talk all this nonsense about how we don't want and don't do this and don't do that. But then when you look at the welfare system, you see white folk, number one on the welfare situation. Number one. Then when you look at government subsidies, white companies, number one on the list, government subsidies. And these same white folk who are getting government subsidies are hiring illegals. And the government is doing nothing about it. And we're supposed to want to invite these people to the cookout. This is what we've been, basically the world sees that we are the people to put this on the shoulders of for some damn reason. When nobody invites us to their cookouts, at what point in time does anybody outside of foundational Black American culture come to us and say, hey, come over to the cookout? You don't see Jamaicans saying, hey, Black Americans, come over to the cookout. You don't see Puerto Ricans saying, hey, Black Americans, come over to the cookout. Africans, come over to the cookout. No, what they do is they try to get here and then they basically try to make it seem like the cookout wasn't even our goddamn idea. And this is why we've shut down the whole situation of the cookout. This is why we shut down the whole perception of the cookout. Because these very same people who actively work against our better need and our interest, these people are out here cosplaying us to do so. I want to get over to this brother here because I really appreciate the way he explained this as well. Let's go here, family.
You ever peep that we not invited to nobody else's cookout? I mean, like nobody. Like we are not universally just, hey, come on over to the barbecue at any given point in time. Like not even once. We got to do something about you invited to the barbecue people, because 9 times out of 10, the people who are doing the inviting should never have been invited themselves. Why in all fuck are y'all so eager to invite people into the culture who have done nothing? They've done nothing. White girl gets on social media, wears a bonnet. Here go y'all. Girl, I really appreciate the cultural appreciation. Ooh, girl, you look so pretty. Black woman gets on here, wears bonnet. See, that's why they keep calling us ghetto. It's you. It's you. You're the problem. The answer is not just uninviting people that are not us to the cookout. The answer is letting some people know you have one invite, your own invite. Ain't no damn RSVP, and this ain't no high school graduation. You don't have the authority to do that. And the reason you don't is because you don't have the knowledge to know how and when to do that. You see a dude from Wisconsin wearing a do-rag singing Jacquees, and suddenly you feel seen. Goofy. You ever peep that we...
And that's 100% shout out to that brother, because here's the thing. A lot of these people that's talking about, oh, they invited to the cookout, they ain't even FBA. So how in the hell are you giving out invites to a cookout that you're not a part of? That's like a bootlegger, and that's exactly what it is. It's a bootlegger going and literally bootlegging a bunch of damn concert tickets and then standing outside the concert and passing out or selling these concert tickets as if they actually work for the damn people who sell concert tickets. This is what this whole situation is. A whole bunch of people who are not a part of the cookout selling tickets to other people to be a part of a cookout, and they're not even supposed to be here. And that's what it is. These people have a super duper weird obsession with us. It is a weird obsession. It's so damn weird. It's so damn weird that everyone can see it. It isn't just a situation where one or two people is saying, well, that's kind of weird. No, a lot of people is seeing it, and a lot of people is calling out how weird it is that these people have this obsession with foundational Black Americans and who we are and who we choose to be. And the fact that we choose the right to represent our self-determination. Let's go to this sister here.
Let me tell y'all something. The obsession that the world has with foundational Black Americans and our identity and culture is one that needs to be studied mentally, on a mental level. You motherfuckers is cuckoo. You know what I'm saying? Remember I told y'all it was an Asian company on here that's selling foundational Black American flag necklaces. Now you got all these bunch of Africans that are now wearing these necklaces. Y'all hate yourself that motherfucking bad. That motherfucking bad. How the fuck y'all even know what our flag look like? How the fuck y'all even know what our flag look like before we ever started talking about our real history, our real heritage, our real culture, our real lineage, and our real identity? Y'all had never seen that flag a day in your fucking life.
Let's pause for a second, family. She just said that literally you got Chinese people out here making foundational Black American heritage flags and selling them online. And you got Africans out here wearing the flags as if they are FBAs. This is what's happening right now. This weird, like, trying to be us. The want to be us. And we're going to put a pin in that because there's something I want to show you on that end too. When they find out they're not us, they're baffled. They're baffled, even when they come to the realization. But let's let this sister finish.
How disrespectful. Y'all want everybody else to be African but y'all, but it explains a lot though. Y'all remember when Charlize Theron, that white lady that was born over there in South Africa? Y'all remember how them Africans get on our ass still to this day about her Africans. You feel what I'm saying? It's the same Africans that got on our ass about Tyler's Africans. You feel what I'm saying? It makes a lot of sense. Y'all want everybody to be African but y'all. Y'all don't believe that y'all country is the motherland. Y'all don't look at y'all people with grace and love, no matter if they in poverty or motherfucking not. The way Foundation of Black Americans look at ourselves, look at our hoods, look at our suburbs, we love it all. We love it all. You can never pay us to pick up another country's motherfucking flag, another culture's motherfucking flag. Not that these are the same.
Pause. Family, tell me if she's lying. Because that's the whole thing that we're talking about with these goddamn illegals marching in the street, waving other countries' flags. That's the same thing that we're talking about when we talk about Jasmine Crockett talking about she's supporting or she's rooting for Canada and Mexico and Ukraine and everybody else outside of America. We're not those kind of people. We have never been those kinds of people. The same people that's running around here talking about now that Trump is president, I'm moving to Canada and Black people need to go to Africa so that we can live under a state where we don't have any oppression and all this nonsense. These are the people that we are not. We don't talk about fleeing. We don't talk about running. We don't talk about anything outside of what we talk about in foundational Black American culture. We choose to be who we are in this country because we built this country. That's the big difference. Shout out to KG. Thank you for being here, Kid Gravity. My family. That's just what it is. We're not running. We're not doing anything that these folks do. That's because we're proud of what we built here. Through the good, through the bad, through the ugly, our ancestors built something that was beautiful, that is beautiful. And ain't nobody going to take away our right to it. And that's what a lot of these folks are doing. They're trying to take away our right to self-determination. They're trying to take away our right to what our ancestors have done in this country. And we're not having that crap. Let's continue.
People that said foundational Black American Southerners have no culture, but are the same people that are the first ones in line, trying to learn how to line dance, picking up a flag they ain't never seen a day in their motherfucking life. How disrespectful. But see, this is the reason why y'all Americanized culture is under attack, and absolutely nobody's coming to save it. Period. Nobody's finna save Ming Lee's nail shop from getting shut down in our neighborhood. Nobody's finna save Fo Fong's Chinese shop. Nobody's finna save or the Braden Salon. Nobody's finna save none of y'all shit.
Joined the Marines during Vietnam,
All the shit that y'all been able to capitalize off of our coin
where he met a pretty young
by getting these loans, put them in our neighborhoods. Yeah, we want them gone. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all in our mouth so motherfucking hard. Y'all are trying to figure out a way to sell us our own flag.
Yes, kept letters, and it wasn't.
Find y'all some business and get out our mouth. Let me tell you.
Salute to that queen. Salute to that queen. Salute to Julia Spencer. Thank you for being here, sister. I appreciate you. Like I said, she was just going off because every point that she's touching on is absolutely correct. Every single goddamn point that she touched on was absolutely correct. And the whole point of people trying to cosplay as us, pretend to be us, this is becoming a real damn problem. This is becoming a real problem. I want to go here, family, and there's a, oh, did they remove the video? Okay, family. So I guess I'll just show this to show you guys that she must have got herself. Somebody must have told her the hell off. And people must have started going after her. So give me a hot second, family. What I'm going to do is show you the response video because I did a response to the video already. Give me one hot second, family. One hot second. Let's go here. So there was a video that this woman put up on TikTok, and it was basically saying that we are a cult and all this other nonsense. One second. And I responded to it, and I wanted to actually play the original video today. However, I guess she must have got backlash and the video was taken down. So let's go here. I guess we'll just go with the response video that I did then. Let's go.
Just left the cult, and a group is a cult, and I just left the cult, and it took me some time to realize that I just left the cult.
And we're back with another FBA fact check. How do you leave something that doesn't exist? Keep on telling you FBA, aka the American Freedmen, is a bloodline, not a cult. There's no organization dues. There's no leaders. There's no meetings because it's a bloodline. You're either born FBA or you're not. And just to do my due diligence, oh, that's you, right? Afro-French Caribbean girl? Yeah, seems like you're not there, right? And these are the people who we call tethers. People who are deliberately trying to undermine us for absolutely no reason, because they don't like the fact that we're delineating in order to get what's owed to us. And it's crazy how this woman tried to say that we be out here using white supremacist talking points when we do that exact opposite. But when these people get here, that's exactly what they do. Try to jump on the coattails of white supremacy. Oh, we just work harder. Y'all just mad because we're more desirable. My family came to America with $2 in their pockets, knowing that that's a lie. Foundational Black Americans, aka the American Freedmen, has been the only people on this continent and around the world that actively fight white supremacy. Go right up to the face of them, slap them in the face, and all of that stuff. So miss me with this whole they're a white supremacist cult because we are delineating from people like this. Why should we want to be united with people like this? These people are movement disruptors and they should be treated as such. Now, I don't know if she ain't take her medication or what, but for her to create this whole elaborate story about FBAs being a cult and we're attacking her online, FBAs are everywhere, whether you know it or not, because like I said, there's 45 to 47 million of us, and the rest are Black immigrants and tethers. What's so hard to understand about that? And if you go anywhere cosplaying this while disrespecting this, yeah, people are going to jump down your throat, no matter where you are. So, to recap, Foundational Black Americans, aka the American Freedmen, are not a cult. It's a bloodline. Either you're born FBA or you're not. And all the people who aren't, who's out here claiming us to be a cult, understand why they're doing that. Because they stand to benefit more from us being Pan-Africans than to be people who go out to do for ourselves. All right, you folks have a beautiful day now.
Family, like I said, I really wanted to play her full video because there was so much nonsense in that video. Apparently, she figured it out because, you know, it got taken down or removed or whatever the situation is. But I guess we can go here because she ain't the only one. This guy right here that I'm about to present to you guys, family, this dude is running around here. And this is what I mean by being these people thinking that they have the right to tell us that we have no right of self-determination. This is a tether who's raised in America at the age of 3 years, from the age of 3 years old, excuse me. But he is ethnically Nigerian, and so is his parents. His parents moved to America when he was 3. And this dude thinks that he can tell us what Black American culture is. And not only does he think that he can tell us what Black American culture is, he thinks that he can tell us who could be and who can't be in foundational Black American culture. So let's go. Now we're going to do a pause and stop situation. I will be pausing because of the fact there's a lot of nonsense in what this man is going to say here. So I want to make sure we address this correctly today. Let's start it off.
Now, this is an interesting time for me, right? I apparently just had my first running with foundational Black Americans, right? And first impressions, not the best individuals in the African diaspora. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not me putting out any hate there, right? Hopefully there's a distinction, right, between members of that, way of thinking who understand their position within the African diaspora and are respective to other members of the African diaspora. But I think there is a radical wing and there's a more recent sentiment and creation of a divide that is causing people to take more extreme and xenophobic stances, right? So let's just get into it, right? So my recent argument, and which is probably still going on one by one underneath my recent post, right, is the identification of me being a member of the African American culture or Black American culture, if you want to be really specific. For starters, there's a difference between culture, ethnicity, and race, right? I do not subscribe to the labels as white being a race or black being a race, right?
Salute to our brother Jesse Paris. Thank you for being here, brother.
We'll call it as is. It's European and it's Negroid, right? So I may switch off Negroid with African just to make it easier for people to understand. But those are the actual names for the races. But we'll move past that. So, what I've based my entire understanding on is that culture is not something that you need to be born into. I'm standing by that because I've yet to be proven wrong, right?
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
So, with that being said, I am of the Black American culture. Why? Because by definition, culture is a broad concept that encompasses the social behaviors, institutions, and norms of a group of people. It's not an ethnic group of people. It's not a group of people born into the same ideologies. It's a group of people. For example, a group of multiracial fishermen can be a part of a fisherman culture. A group of multiracial police officers can be a part of police culture. A group of multiracial sports fans can be a part of that sports team's culture. So it is very easy to confuse culture and ethnic identity. So what I've started to hear in some of these like discourses and back and forths that I've been dealing with FBA members or people that are just living in a cave or want to create some level of divisiveness amongst the African diaspora is that they want a clear distinction between African Americans that hailed from descendants of chattel slavery and everyone else. And allow me to be the first one to tell you no one's taking your identity. Well, at least not me, right? Because there's probably a wing or a source where you feel like your identity is under attack, where someone is trying to poach and take away from you. And I can sympathize with that. But don't allow that to make you and your counterparts become xenophobic, right?
Nigga, please.
Family, what this dude is out here describing right now is quite literally the definition of culture appropriation. And what he's trying to do is basically tell you and tell me that what he's doing is not a form of erasure. This is what he's doing. This is what he's rambling about, my brother. He's basically telling you that cultural appropriation, at least in the way that he's doing it, is not a form of erasure. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let's go ahead and put that right in the middle. Okay? Since he thought he was going to be able to say that nonsense. Cultural appropriation is the adoption and the elements of elements of one's culture or identity by members of another culture. So this man is from Nigeria and he's here trying to cosplay our culture or identity, in a manner perceived as inappropriate or unacknowledged. Don't these people do this? They come here, they dress like us, they act like us, They take on our mannerisms and they don't acknowledge it. This dude here just tried to do the same thing, talking about, I'm not stealing your culture. At least I'm not. I'm not trying to steal who you are. At least I'm not. This could be especially controversial when members of a dominant culture borrow from minority cultures. Same thing with the white girls and the locks and the braids, the bonnets, and all this other stuff. It's the same thing that they're doing. Granted, on a smaller scale because they're not a part of the dominant society, but still doing it at all is still a form of erasure. That's what it is. When cultural elements are copied from a minority culture by members of the dominant society, a dominant culture, and these elements are used outside of their original cultural context, sometimes even against the expressly stated wishes of members of the original culture. And this is what is happening now when we're telling these people that you are literally using our culture and you're using this shit, you're using our culture in order to combat or try to undermine everything that we're fighting for our culture. This is what they're doing. The practice is often received negatively, exactly what it's supposed to be. And shout out to our brother Leroy. You're absolutely correct. Busta Rhymes, the Drakes, the yada yadas. This is what we're going through. Cultural appropriation can include the exploitation of another culture's religion and cultural traditions, customs, dance steps, fashion, symbols, language, and history. Now tell me, out of all those things I just read right there at the end, does this do not apply? Do many of them not apply? It's applicable to all of these people. And it is a form of erasure. But he's trying to convince us. He's trying to convince us that, oh, no, we should be cool with them coming over here, cosplaying us. We should be cool with them coming over here, jumping into our culture and then saying they're a part of the culture, even though they're guests in the culture. That's it. This is what these people do. And this is why we have to call these people out consistently. Consistently. Because if we don't call them out, it's only going to continue. This man just literally told you to sit back and be cool with him erasing you from your own damn culture. Exactly. It's an ethnocide. And we're not cool with that. We're not going to be erased. We fought for centuries to make sure they didn't erase us in this country. And only to have these people come here into this country and try to do the same damn thing. If I'm lying, please let me know. If I'm not telling the truth, please present me with the truth. Let's get back over here. Bring him back up.
Where it's us versus them. That is never the case. Someone who does not come from the descendants of cattle slavery can still be a member of Black American culture. For example, in my recent video, I told you I came here when I was 3 years old. My first conscious memory was playing in Brooklyn streets. There was not a part of my childhood in my upbringing that was not entrenched, surrounded by, or involved me actively participating in Black American culture. And to reinforce that statement is to tell you that the world does not look at you as, oh, he's Black African, he's Black Caribbean, he's American Black. When they first see you, they don't. You are Black. And however,
Notice how he tried to go to that same talking point that we already then debunked. If we know the difference between us, you better believe they know the difference between us as well, especially when people such as yourself is running around here making sure that, you know, you put on a heavy accent so they know that you're not the same as us. When people such as yourself make sure that you say, hey, you know, I'm a Nigerian American. But whenever it benefits you, you want to be around Black Americans. This man said just because he grew up in proximity to Black Americans, he's a part of the Black American culture. How is that when your parents are Nigerian? You did not grow up with Black American parents. You grew up with Nigerian parents. So I know the cultural difference hit you hard. You grew up with them speaking Nigerian, correct? You had to. You didn't grow up eating what we were eating because your Nigerian parents wasn't feeding you what we were being fed. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You didn't grow up in the streets with foundational Black Americans having to deal with the same things we had to deal with because your parents were being subsidized. Whether you know it or not, whether they care to admit it or not. While your parents were getting these government programs that our parents wasn't able to get, you was taken care of by these same people. So don't come to me and try to tell me that I grew up as a Black American. I grew up this way, so I'm a part of Black American culture. It would have been different if this dude came and said, you know what? I've been experiencing Black American culture since I was 3 years old. And I look at myself as someone who's a part of the Black American culture, but I do also understand that I'm a guest in Black America's culture because as a Nigerian who grew up in America, I understand that there's going to be a lot of cultural differences, and I had the benefit to be a part of those cultural differences on this side of the fence. But I understand that in Nigeria, it is not the same as it is in America. We can't do the same things. We can't speak the way that foundational Black Americans can speak. We can't be who foundational Black Americans are in Nigeria. And I appreciate your culture, and I appreciate being a guest in your culture. That would have been different. But the fact that you're trying to tell us, you come to us and try to tell us who can and who can't be a part of our culture is sickening, and it is despicable, and it needs to be studied. The obsession with us, being us. You can't, it's an obsession that needs to be studied. I want to tell you guys who can be a part of Black American culture. Really, I want to tell you who can be a part of any culture, because just because you say culture doesn't mean it ties directly to the people, dumbass. Culture directly ties to the people that creates it. And when you try to take that culture and put it on your back as if you can just wear it like a goddamn coat, then you need yourself checked. And that's why the checking is happening. Got to get some straightening. Because these people want to beat us so damn bad. This is one of the reasons why they hate us so much. They hate us because they ain't us. And this could be said for many people across the United States of America. They hate us because they ain't us. And if they were us, they would love us. They love what we present. They love what we create. They love what we bring to the country, but they hate the fact that it came from us. And it is what it is. I have to say it the way it has to be said. So then they have to come back and make all these type of videos or any type of post and essays and podcasts explaining why in the hell they're out here cosplaying us, pretending to be us, while at the same time hating our goddamn guts. Let's go back here.
However they feel about black is however they're going to treat you. So that's why the divisiveness amongst each other is foolish. Let me make this clear for the foundational Black Americans. I'm trying not to be as smart alecky and as condescending as I probably could be, because
family, do you hear this nonsense? Let me make sure I'm not being as smart alecky as I could be. You can't be smart alecky to a people who built the nation that afforded you to come over here and flee your homeland. You can't do that to us when we're the ones who's explaining and telling you exactly what it is. You're the dumbass in this situation, not us. You better go back to your parents and start explaining why y'all fled, or get an explanation of why y'all fled to come over here. You can't explain to us nothing. Exactly. Damn diversity. Damn divisive. Damn divisive. And damn diversity. We're right here fighting for the people who we need to fight for. We're right here speaking for the people that we need to speak for. We don't need to be a diverse group of people, because when we were sitting here trying to be a diverse group of Black diaspora people, everyone else turned their backs on us. Every single person. When we started talking about reparations and said, no, you know what, we can't, no, reparations isn't for all Blacks. It's literally just for foundational Black Americans, because we built the country. We have a claim here. Everybody else, nobody else have a claim. Overnight, everybody came out doing the nonsense, speaking about whether or not, acting as if they're the authority on things that we're speaking about. And they don't even have the right to speak. This man is a guest. He doesn't even apply. That birthright citizenship don't apply to him because he came here when he was 3. I might have to call Tom Homan. But yes, Aquarius minded, I agree with you. I hope this birthright citizenship thing goes through as well. But this is what it is, family. This is the level of mitigated gall this guy has, to think that he had the power and the ability to come out and speak in the manner in which he's speaking. This is what we're sitting here fighting against. This is why we're sitting here delineating from these people. This dude is a Nigerian. And he thinks that he can come to us and tell us who can and who can't be in our culture, what is and what isn't culture, and whether or not our culture ties to us, or once it's created, it just goes out to the world. No. Hell no.
Some of these people on this app be trying you, right? But let me make this clear for y'all. I'm not stealing your ethnic identity. It's not. I'm telling you.
That's quite literally what you're doing. That is quite literally what you're doing. It is called cultural appropriation for a reason. It is a form of erasure for a reason. It is a part of ethnogenocide for a reason. But this is where these people's heads are. They think that they done got so much into, and it's all because they try to be as white as they can. And so you got some white folk out here trying to tell us who we are, and we don't have the right to self-determination. And then they didn't seen that for so long, and they want to be white they wanted to be white for so long and still want to be white, that they think that they have the ability to do what these white folks have been doing for centuries. And you don't. Right now, I make a phone call, and your mama, your daddy, and yourself, y'all flying back over to Nigeria. Let's keep it real.
You did, because of how I grew up, where I grew up, what I participated in, what I learned, the history and the culture that was around me. I am a member of the Black American community. That is a fact. It's because I share the same sentiments, the same beliefs that I need to be a member of that community.
Did y'all hear that part, family? He needs to be a member of the Black community. He needs to. Shout out to our sister Aquarius Mind, and I appreciate your super chat, sister. Your donation is blessed tenfold. He needs to be a part of the Black community. But also, if you recognize what he's saying here, he's giving the whole Fat Joe excuse. He's giving the whole Fat Joe argument. I grew up around Black Americans my whole life. That makes me Black American. I need to be Black American. Well, why the hell don't you need to be Nigerian American? Why don't you need to be an African American since we stepped away from that term? No, he needs to be a Black American. And why do he need to be a Black American? Because they need to cosplay us to get the benefits that they get. They need to pretend to be us in order to get in proximity of us, in order to undermine us. They need. And before we continue this, man, I want to play something from somebody else who is Nigerian.
Africans that love white people more than Nigerians in Nigeria. I had to be specific. Nigerians are the most arrogant, confident, brash, loud group of people you will ever meet. But that loudness is only when we are in proximity to other Nigerians. The moment a Nigerian in Nigeria spots a white person, a person with straight hair, or a person with specifically a British accent, that accent has a psychological effect. That is our cone chip activator. You will notice that the average Nigerian is remote controlly subdued. It is why when you go to a restaurant, you go inside that restaurant as a Nigerian, they'll tell you to get out. They'll even answer you. Go inside as a white man, you see them. Hey, oh my God, hey Jesus, white man, please sit down here. What more do you need? What do you? That year, early 90s. I was in Avicenna now. That time when we used to have a lot of Weibo, a lot of white people in our country. See how they used to treat them. You think that they are the second coming of Jesus Christ. See, you guys, you know what I'm saying. I'm not lying. This is just my observation. If you don't agree, that's just me.
Family. But he needs to be Black American. Like I said, family, these folks out here trying to play like they're just white and they say so. He out here using the same argument as Fat Joe, thinking that he can just go ahead, dip his toe in foundational Black American culture. And he's getting called out for it. We ain't having it. That's why I chose to end with this brother here. Because a lot of them need to be FBA. That's why they're mimicking us. That's why they're pretending to be us. A lot of them are ashamed of themselves and their own cultures. That's what it is. A lot of them are ashamed of their own cultures. Let's let this brother continue.
Because culture isn't deemed by your birthplace. It's deemed literally by your beliefs, values, customs, sometimes language, arts, laws, and capabilities. It's a whole list of things that define what are the necessary criteriums needed for someone to be a member of your culture. Now, this might sound a little bit crazy, right? But check this out. There are members of
Family, first and foremost, just answer me this question. Isn't being a part of someone's culture, if you're not from their culture, is someone in that culture making you a part of that culture? You can't just walk into a freaking so-called Native American tribe and say, you know what? I'm Native American. No, you don't understand, because I grew up around a lot of Native Americans. And, you don't have to be born Native American to be a part of Native American culture. Do you ever hear any of that stuff? Do you ever hear people say things like that? White folks don't even say things like that. They went and paid $5 to get on the Dolls Rolls. But when it's foundational Black American culture, oh, you don't have to be a part of foundational Black America in order to be a part of the culture. What kind of nonsense is that? What sense does that make? You can't go over to China and tell Chinese people, I'm a part of the Chinese culture because I grew up in Chinatown. They're going to look at you like you goddamn stupid. And then I don't know what else they might do. Going all the way to China to tell Chinese people what Chinese culture is and who can and who can't be accepted within Chinese culture. They might just put you in jail. They might give you the 21 gun salute. I don't know. But as I stated, ain't nobody running around here telling anybody else that they can be a part of their culture, whether or not they were born into that culture.
of Black American culture, hip hop culture, that are not Black people. But these people don't really have to do much of proving to anyone at this point in time. These people have participated in, shared the beliefs and values of said people within that culture. Now, it sounds crazy, but that's how culture works. You can't gatekeep culture off of the simple fact of someone being Black and white. So I think some people misconstrued my Drake and other arguments towards why we need to gatekeep, like, hip hop culture. It's not because we're going to gatekeep anybody that doesn't look like us from joining into hip hop culture. No, it's anybody who doesn't think and value the things that we value in hip hop culture. For example, the person that said, "Hey, I don't like soulful samples and making beats, and I don't like that in rap music." That's somebody who doesn't share the same beliefs and values and customs that people within hip hop culture would naturally share, right? And that shows that he is not an insider, but he is an outsider because it's mentality and not birthright.
Did you take a stupid pill with your breakfast this morning, Admiral?
So there is a staunch difference from saying someone is a member of the Black American community and them saying that, "Hey, I'm a descendant of chattel slavery." I am not a descendant of chattel slavery. I can tell you that right now. But have I still dealt with colonialism? Have I still dealt with racism? Have I still dealt with being outside or oppressed by a system catered for white supremacy? Of course. Do I come from a place that also has dealt with colonialism and white supremacy? Of course.
Did you come over here willingly? Of course. Did your parents flee over here willingly? Of course. Don't try to bring up the fact that you've dealt with oppression or anything like that when your family literally decided to come over here to deal with that oppression. Your family knew what was happening over here to foundational Black Americans, and they decided to come over here and not just come over here, but also play the game of America where they stomp on foundational Black Americans. And you want to sit here and say, we've been through oppression too. There is no but. You are not a part of our lineage, sir. Thank you very much, Angelic, because that is what it is. The fact that this dude wants to come over here and talk about we all go through oppression, because that's basically what he just said. Negro, you chose to go through this oppression. You knew the history of America, and you consistently said to yourself before you came here, not you personally, because you came as a baby, your parents were saying to themselves, yeah, you know what? America seems like the lick. America seems like a lick. Let's go to America and build a better life. Let's go to America, even though Black Americans are being lynched over there, even though Black Americans are being misrepresented and they're being targeted for racism and all these situations happening in America systemically. Let's go over there because America is a lick. I don't want to hear nobody talking like this when your parents decided to come here or when you decided to come here. I don't want to hear it because it's disrespectful and it's intellectually deceptive.
That is a part of being a member of the African diaspora. This is why I don't draw the lines, right? So when I look at someone as a member of the diaspora, I'm just like, Spanish speaking Black person, Portuguese speaking Black person, English speaking Black person, Creole speaking Black person, a Black person that speaks patois. Do you understand? Like, it is not hard to delineate and to create the proper lines. What I'm seeing now, I'm proud. Hey, we could probably blame the FBI at this point because it seems like this is a relatively new thing. And it's gaining the attention and fanning the flames of dissent and division within us when we don't need that at this time.
First and foremost, Negro, he said you can blame the FBI at this time. No, Negro. No, Negro. We can blame the FBI for people such as yourself. We can blame the FBI for anybody who's coming in trying to tell us that we don't have the right to self-determination. We can blame the FBI for all of you who comes into our communities and literally actively work against us. We can blame the FBI for people such as yourself who go and sit on these reparation task force and then crash out. We can blame the FBI for people who come here actively cosplaying us and saying we don't need this, we don't need that, as if you're a part of our community. We can blame the FBI for a lot of things, but guess what? It won't be for the fact that FBA exists. We exist because of you. We exist because of people like you who come here and completely feel entitled to our culture. And then when we tell you, hey, no, you're not entitled to our culture, you're being disrespectful, you make videos like this, as if we're the divisive ones. When you people are literally out here trying to push an erasure tactic on us. Cultural appropriation is erasure in itself. Especially when people like you then turn around and say it was never our culture. Shout out to our brother. Hold up. Akibalon Nation, thank you for your Cash App, your donation. I appreciate you. You are blessed tenfold, and blessings to you. But yeah, this is exactly what's happening, family. These people are literally trying to steal who we are and then say they're not trying to steal who we are. These people are literally pushing erasure and then saying ain't nobody trying to steal your identity, while literally practicing identity theft. Quite literally. Everything that he's speaking about, the quite literal definition of cultural appropriation says otherwise. This dude ain't dressed like a Nigerian. He don't speak like a Nigerian. His mannerisms isn't Nigerian. Exactly. It's the gaslighting. That's what pisses me off the most. You're sitting here trying to tell us who we are and how culture works as if we don't know one. And then also then you turn around and try to make it seem like, well, you can't control who's a part of your culture. No. That is the definition of gaslighting and also the definition of gatekeeping, because we absolutely can say who is and who isn't a part of our culture. The same way the Chinese can say who is and who isn't a part of their culture. The same way the Native Americans, the real Native Americans, us, can say who is and who isn't a part of our culture. There is so many people around the world who's already said who is and who isn't a part of their culture. So how are you now trying to come to us and say otherwise? It's weirdo stuff. These people are weirdos.
Again, let me reiterate. I'm a member of Black American culture because I share the same beliefs, customs, behaviors, and practices. And if we're talking about languages, you can hear my New York accent. Even though I'm still
family. This man just said, if you're talking about languages, you can hear my New York accent. You can hear my New York accent. These are the things that these people try to convince us is a part of being foundational Black American. Guess what? Anybody that moves to New York can gain a New York accent. I've heard a lot of white people with some of the thickest Louisianian accents thus far. It just doesn't make any sense that he's saying that. Exactly. I'm a part of your community because I say so. This is what these people are doing. They're running around here basically trying to flaunt. I don't even want to say it that way. That's not the right way to say it. Let me put it like this. These people are trying their hardest to flex their tetherism because they've been in this country for a certain amount of time. I might be a tether, but I'm a part of the Black community because I've been in the community for X amount of time. Knowing your family and your immediate family does not and did not do anything within our customs. I'm pretty sure your Nigerian parents kept your Nigerian cultures as you grew up in America. Your parents didn't come to the Black community and say, you know what? Damn Nigeria. I want to be a part of the Black community. I want to fully immerse myself in Black American culture. And even if they did, they wouldn't be Black Americans. If they were, it's just by technicality. They wouldn't be considered foundationally Black Americans because of the fact that they're not. So that culture is not theirs. So let's go here, and we're going to end off after this one because this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when these people realize that they're not a part of our culture. Salute Armageddon. Thanks for being here, family. And you know that was some he done went to one of our barbers. They didn't gave him one of those spray-ins, bruh. I don't believe that's his real hairline. It looks like it could be wiped off. But this is how these people feel when they find out or come to the realization that they're not a part of the culture that they're guest.
I had a realization that I am not a part of the culture. I'm a observer of the culture and a sort of sometimes a participator in the culture.
And when you first hear that, isn't that hard to hear?
It's hard to hear.
It's hard to hear.
It's very hard to hear.
Because that's not what you thought it was.
Right.
You felt like you were in there.
No, hearing this right now is like.
But when you call a spade, nigga, my culture is compa and guyad. No matter how much I love rap.
Hurt me, bro.
No matter how much I love rap, my culture isn't cornbread and ham hocks.
Right.
Even though I fuck with it,
But
but I'm a sauce fly nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You was born in Haiti or you was born here?
I'm born
No,
here.
we're born here.
Yeah.
But the culture and the foundation of what they stand on has already been laid before we got here, right? So when we come here, we getting the Jordans and we getting the thing, we watching Fresh Prince, and that's us observing the culture and then mimicking the culture to a certain degree. We're not of the culture.
And because we look like them, and
even
because
though
they
we
invite us in
born
to feel like
here,
home.
Yeah, even though, bro, this conversation fucked me up, Chris.
Now notice what he said, family. Because we look like this and they invite us in, it feels like home. And that's what they're not feeling anymore, family. They're not feeling like they're home anymore because we're standing on our square when it comes to our lineage, when it comes to our policies, our reparations, and who we are. We're standing on our right for self-determination and the right not to be policed by anybody. That's what it is, family. So these tethers aren't feeling like home anymore because we're not being as welcoming as we used to be. We're not being as open-armed, come here, my brother, because you look like me, as we used to be. That's just what it is. That is what it is. And it's scaring the hell out of them, because if we're not going to be people that are welcoming them, they're coming into another hostile situation, because white folks don't like them. Mexicans don't like them. None of the Hispanic communities like them. Hell, I just saw a video where this Jamaican lady was, no, it was an African lady in Jamaica. And the Jamaican lady was telling her off the back, we don't like you here. We do not like you here. We don't like nothing about you. And the Jamaican lady was so thrown off. Excuse me, the African lady was so thrown off. She didn't understand how to take that, because outside of America, nobody rocks with any of these people but us. That's it. And if they don't have the backup, like Angelic put it, they're entering into another hostile situation. So us delineating has thrown all of those folks for a loop. Every single one of them who had the same thought process as that Nigerian dude, just because they grew up around us in proximity to us, they think that they are us, or they have a right to our culture. And all these people are finding out the hard truth that no, you don't. And even if you feel like you do, we're going to be the ones to explain to you over and over and over again. Mind your tether business. Stay out of ours, and we'll be fine. That's it. That's all. We don't have any problems with any of you. Our only problem is the fact that you come to our country cosplaying us and then undermine us at every turn you make. It's not that we hate immigrants, because we don't. Not all immigrants act the same. Every tether is an immigrant, but not every immigrant is a tether. So if you're on code, if you pay homage, if you're one of those people who go around making videos trying to educate your fellow people, then we rock with you. But if you're one of those people that's literally dressing like us, speaking like us, moving with our mannerisms, using our AAVE, basically just being here in general, eating off the backs of foundational Black Americans, you're getting your ass called out. And get used to it. Get used to it. Because this is the new norm. This is the new norm. Now I want to play this one more time.
That I am not a part of the culture. I'm a observer of the culture and a sort of sometimes a participator in the culture.
And when you first hear that, isn't that hard to hear?
It's hard to hear.
It's hard to hear.
It's very hard to hear.
Because that's not what you thought it was.
Right.
And I love the way that these dudes just said the quiet part out loud. When you hear that, it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear because you didn't see it as that. Well, what the hell did you see it as? That would be my next question. You thought that you could come to a country and be around a group of people who look like you and take their whole swag, take their whole culture, and just put it on like a jacket? This is what they're basically saying. I didn't know it was like that. We didn't think of it like that. Then how did you think of it?
Sometimes a participator in the culture.
And when you first hear that, isn't that hard to hear?
It's hard to hear.
It's hard to hear.
It's very hard to hear.
Because that's not what you thought it was.
Right.
You felt like you were in there.
No, hearing this right now is like.
But when you call a spade, nigga, my culture is compa and guyot. No matter how much I love
shit
rap.
hurt me, bro.
No matter how much I love rap, my culture isn't cornbread and ham hocks.
Right.
Even though I fuck with it,
But
but
here
I'm a sauce fry nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You was born in Haiti or you was born
I'm
here?
born
No,
here.
we're born here.
Yeah.
But the culture and the foundation of what they stand on has already been laid before we got here, right? So when we come here, we getting the Jordans and we getting the thing, we watching Fresh Prince, and that's us observing the culture and then mimicking the culture to a certain degree.
Right.
We're
And
not
because
of the culture.
And because we look like
But
them,
even
and because
though
they
we
invite
was
us in to
born
feel like
here,
home.
Yeah, even though, bro, this conversation fucked me up, Chris.
And family, I'm going to be 100% honest. I really appreciate these dudes coming out saying this. Because there are some dudes who really don't understand that you're not a part of this culture. You may be a guest in the culture. But there's a lot of people who would fight that talking point. When we tell them this, in the very same, we could be saying it nicely, we could be saying it harshly, but no matter how we say it, these folks will fight it tooth and nail. Tooth and nail, they will fight it. Because they have this like need to be us. They need to be Black Americans. That's exactly what it is, family. And I know that a lot of these folks are now realizing that they're creating their own detrimental situation with us. Because you see a lot more people starting to come out and give homage to foundational Black Americans. You see more and more people come out and they're starting to talk against some of the rhetoric that a lot of these people are running around speaking on. And this is just what's happening. And I appreciate it. Cool. But don't think for one red second that we ain't going to be out here just, running the yard on you cats. Because we can't afford to just leave it to all of you guys. We can't afford to just leave it up to you. Because if we end up doing that, then we're giving you more power to say who is and who isn't as well. That same entitlement that young Nigerian dude was just talking about, or what he was just exhibiting, that would be these people if we let off the gas. And that's why we can't let off the gas. We got to keep our foot to the floor, the pedal to the metal. Because if we don't do that, all we're doing is creating more people who will come in with this entitled attitude just because they had proximity to us. But with that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, please make sure you hit that link in the description. Go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, we are not the people that they claim us to be. We are not the people that they want us to be. We're the people that we say we are. Because we are self-determined. And we have a right to self-determination. We have a right to choose who we vote for. We have a right to choose who we sit out on. We have a right to choose whether or not we want to protest this or sit it out. Especially when all of these protests have nothing to do with us. They throw a black face on a white protest and all of a sudden people online start losing their minds. They start crashing out. Oh my God, they're taking away DEI. Oh my God, they're taking away affirmative action. And we're sitting here in every instance saying, we don't care. Take it. Throw it away. We're still going to shine. We're still going to be the people that we're supposed to be. Guess what? Because our greatness have no bounds. It's all these other folks that's running around here crying and trying to convince us that we should be crying too. I'm going to start calling these people the Chicken Littles of the world. The Chicken Littles of the United States of America. None of these things affect us on a grassroots level. Shout out Aquarius Mindy. Absolutely. It don't benefit us. None of these things benefit us. But all these people that's running around here with the skies falling tactic in every situation, you end up finding out that it's other people that's end up being affected. All the DEI stuff, you come to find out that most of these people that were being fired and all this other stuff was white women and gay white men. The affirmative action stuff, you come to find out that the Asians were sitting there trying to work against our interests and say that, hey, you know, affirmative action hurts us. And then they took it away and the Asians came back out filing lawsuits talking about this is now hurting us more. They ain't read the fine print. Foundational Black Americans have been through way too much to be fear-mongered by a group of people who just want to use us as a political football, in the words of our dear brother Malcolm X, Malik El-Shabazz. And Black Americans are saying we're not nobody's political football. And Black Americans are saying nobody can tell us what to call ourselves. We decide who the hell we are. And Black Americans are saying nobody can say who's the actual Black American. Only foundational Black Americans have that right. If you're a part of the Black American culture, it's because you're foundational Black American. And if you're not foundational Black American, it's because we slipped you the invite to say, hey, you are cordially invited to participate within foundational Black American culture. There's no plus ones. You can't now re-gift that to somebody else. And you can't say that you are a part of that culture because you was in proximity to us and I'm tether and I say so. I'm a tether and I say so. No. We're not playing those games. Before we get up out here, let me give a salute to our members here. Shout out to Stolen Ancestors 1526. I appreciate you being a member, sister. Shout out to our sister Hurricane Nisi for being a member. I appreciate you, sister. Shout out to our sister Black Spider. Shalom to you, sister. I know you're going to be in the replay gang, so I salute you all dang day. Salute to our brother Shabazz, American Freedman. Salute to you, my good brother, and salute to our sister Elaine Zanga. Much love to you, and I appreciate you for being a member, sister. And I appreciate you all for being here today to speak about policing FBAs and how they go around policing FBAs and how they trying to take away our right for self-determination because they want to be the people who police us and keep us in our places. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not working for the Mayos. It ain't working for the Tethers. I totally agree. I love Mayo tears too. I love Tether tears. I'm gonna be 100 with you. Tethered tears are a little bit sweeter than Mayo tears. Mayo tears kind of taste soury, right? Because they don't like too much of things, right? So they're always crying, which means it's always sour. Tethered tears are a little bit sweeter for me. Just to keep it 100. But family, with that being said, don't let these people try to come into your spaces and tell people with black faces who the hell they are and who the hell they're not. Don't let them come in and tell foundational Black Americans who you are and who you're not. Because we don't go around telling them who they are and who they're not. We have more evidence to show who we are than they have to show who they are. They can't even trace their ancestry as far back as we trace our ancestry. Let's keep that 100. A lot of these states didn't even exist. Or a lot of these countries in Africa didn't even exist. Until recently. Much recently. 1940s recently. No. Always remember this, family. Foundational Black Americans, we have the right to self-determination and decide what we're going to do as a community, how we're going to be moving forward, and what we won't accept when it comes to our community. With that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.
My grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
I know that the government, whatever can't stand us black people, he's doing everything in the world to make black man be extinct. But I'm going to tell you one thing, us black people going to survive. So fuck everybody. I'm out.